So my review of the Minion DHR2 EXO TR. I like this tyre. It's not super robust. If you're riding rocky trails, you're much better to go the double down, or if you're not quite willing to go that weight sacrifice, go the Minion DHF. It's a little bit more robust, it's a little bit heavier, and takes a little bit of a harder hit. Just feels a little stronger. So I raced this tyre on the weekend, and I also put it through, if you watch my movies, my videos, you would have seen I did a DHF versus Aggressor sprint test just out the front of my house. The next morning I added this to the sprint test, so not super objective, but it was the same distance, no wind, it was a reasonably calm morning, same as the night before. And I consistently got, so I was getting 13.5s, 13.6s with both the Aggressor and the DHF, and this I was getting consistently 13.2s and 13.3s. So definitely feels like it's a tiny little bit easier to get up to speed, and that's kind of always been my opinion on this tyre, and the clock obviously doesn't lie, but I feel like it's slightly faster. It's slightly lighter than those two tyres as well. It comes in, I'd have to double check, but I think it's around the 800 gram mark. So 50, 60 grams lighter than the other two, 100 grams lighter than the Aggressor. Don't quote me on that, that's just what I think. So the tyre performance itself, outside of the puncture resistance or lack of puncture resistance, the control I have on the back of this tyre, or on this tyre on the back, is immense. Versus the DHF, through the same corners, the same tracks, exact same conditions. I was riding the DHF at Cobbler's Creek the entire time I was practicing out there, and I put this on obviously just for race day, and I've ridden on it before out there a lot. Now on race day, the control I have on the back is excellent. It's super predictable, very strong braking, very strong in off camber, loose corners. You know exactly what the back end's going to do, and you can trust it 100%. It feels better than the DHF in that respect on the back. It's a little easier to flick around and move around than the DHF. The DHF holds a straight line extremely well, but this just feels better when it's drifting and when it's moving around. And when you're trying to reposition your back end or slam it into a corner. So super happy with how the tyre performs. Rolling resistance is great, and the only downside is the puncture resistance. So the top of the tread, it really doesn't have, in these spots here, it really doesn't have a lot of beef under there, and as soon as you get a decent sharp rock straight through, and it's all over. So I'll see if I can find where it went through. Yeah, it's just here. So this is the hole. You can't really see it because it's covered in dirt and goo and whatever, but that was a massive hole. I've got a tube in there now holding it up. I could almost put my little finger through it, stretching it out. That's how big a hole it was, but no biggie. I rim rode it out and put a tube in, and it was all good for the rest of the race. I only had one stage to finish, but overall, if you're riding trails that are a little smoother, or you're not going super crazy through rocks, this is an excellent rear tyre. A lot of control, it's perfect. But if you're going through rocky trails, go either the double down, or like I said, the DHF will be a little bit more robust, and I'm assuming the Aggressor is going to be a little bit more robust as well. So I'm going to test an Aggressor soon after this one, and give you a bit more of an idea of how I think they feel. That's it for now.